Today I want to talk about one of my special interests, Saturday Night Live. This past weekend, Amy Schumer was the host, and she talked about her husband and him being on the autism spectrum in her monologue. And as an autistic person, I wanted to unpack what it was like for me to watch that monologue. I'm Taylor with Mom on the Spectrum. If you're new to my channel, I'm so glad you're here. If you're looking for more autism-related content, along with resources that I've designed for the community, like autistic community groups that you can join that are online meetups where we just talk about life on the spectrum, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any updates, or you can check out my website at momonthespectrum.life. Now, I know there are a lot of feelings about Amy Schumer. I am not here to be pro or anti-Amy Schumer. I just thought that it was really interesting that she talked about autism in her stand-up, and I wanted to kind of talk about that as an autistic person. So before we jump in, I just want to say, don't make the comment section on this video hate for Amy Schumer, okay? I will delete it. That's not what I'm about. I'm not going to sit here and say that I approve of everything she's done. She's a stand-up comedian, and part of being a stand-up comedian is presenting the audience with information that makes you think, right? And so sometimes that's going to make us feel uncomfortable. If you are checking out someone else's art form or a stream of information and it doesn't sit well with you, keep scrolling, find something else that suits you better. Please don't take it as an opportunity to spread hate about any particular person. So what I want to do today is just talk about autism and talk about the fact that it's in the media. And that's, I think, a good thing because conversations are important, especially around this topic that has a lot of misinformation. So if you haven't seen the monologue, I would recommend watching it. It's on YouTube. It's like 6 minutes long. And Amy Schumer, about the second half of the monologue, she brings up her husband, Fischer, who's on the autism spectrum. And that's what she says. That's how she introduces him. She said, my husband, he is diagnosed. He's on the autism spectrum. He has autism spectrum disorder. I think that's almost verbatim what she said. So one, yay, as an autistic person, yeah, let's talk about this. Cool, you have a husband who's autistic and you're bringing him up. I love that. It's not anything that needs to be shied away from. It's a great subject to talk about. As an autistic person, I don't love that she said disorder. I'm not faulting her on it. I'm just saying, like, as an autistic person, I don't use the word disorder. And I prefer saying that I'm autistic rather than I have autism. So that was one thing when I heard it. I was like, oh, okay, well, it's good that we're talking about it. I would love to see the language change to like people being autistic rather than having autism. And that can be a personal preference, right? So maybe Chris prefers that language. I don't know. But I don't want to be seen as a person who has something, right? That makes me feel I'm an autistic person. It's who I am. It's like my favorite color is blue and I love to play the flute and I'm autistic. It's just like all these different facets of me and you can't separate me being autistic from me being Taylor. After that, she mentioned that autism used to be referred to as Asperger's, but no longer because Hans Asperger, the doctor who was credited with that term, has since been proven to have Nazi ties. Not good, right? We don't want to associate with that. So now we refer to it as autism rather than Asperger's, which used to be a facet of autism. It's a whole thing. It's a whole history. Read Neurotribes if you're interested by Steve Silberman. So I thought it was great that she brought that up. People need to know that because a lot of people still refer to it as Asperger's. And I had someone kindly tell me, when I started my channel, I called myself the atypical Aspie, which is a shortened form of Asperger, and I still have that on my channel in several places, and it was really upsetting to some people because obviously it doesn't have a great origin. So using that term is upsetting, and it's important that we talk about why we can't. What she said next, I loved. She said that it was very helpful that he got diagnosed for her whole family. It helped them understand his behavior. That's amazing. We have to talk more about this. Adult diagnosis, yes. This is the way things need to go. We need to have more appreciation for this process as an adult. We need to have better ways of being evaluated as an adult because it can be really hard to find someone. So thank you, Amy, for bringing up the fact that it is helpful as an adult to have an autism diagnosis. Bravo. And then she said he has so many more tools now that he's diagnosed, and he'll do things like when he's in the middle of a long, boring conversation and he gets bored, he will just walk away. And that made me laugh. I do that in other ways. I don't necessarily physically walk away, but I kind of leave the conversation in my mind and I might think about my special interest or something. But that part made me laugh because we have all wanted to do that. After that, she mentioned how when they bring up that he has autism, is autistic, that people don't really know how to process that. They don't really know much information about it. And they'll ask things like, do you like to count? Which I think is just so funny. She starts talking about counting straws. And I'm like, yeah, that that actually does sound kind of fun. Like, let me color coordinate them, give me different colors, let's group them, let's like make little designs. That sounds really fun to organize straws. So I thought that was a fun example to use. After that, she was talking about how they have different love languages, and it was raining one night and she shared something sentimental with him, and it was very heartfelt, and he took a beat and then said, I'm gonna go roll the windows up in the car. Just totally blunt and not related to anything that she had said. So I really appreciated that she brought that up, because sometimes conversations happen like that. You really need to say something that's not related to what is happening in the conversation, and you're really not sure how to bring it up. So you just do, and there's no segue. And I really appreciated that. And then she closed with saying that right before she walked out on the stage that night, she asked her husband, Chris, if what she was wearing was okay. And he took a deep breath and he said, "It's too late now." Which I think is just such a great response, because it's blunt and honest. And I've heard, I'm on the Reddit for Saturday Night Live from New York, because I just am super into SNL. And a lot of people were saying, you know, I'm autistic too, and I totally relate to this, because it's like, I'm trying to be nice when I say something like this. Like, it's too late now, just don't worry about it. Like, it'll be fine. So I really appreciated that. I thought it was a great snapshot of what it can look like to be in a relationship with someone autistic. So overall, I want to say thank you to Amy Schumer for talking about autism publicly and for using your platform to spread awareness about it, about the origins of Asperger's, about what it's like to get diagnosed as an adult, how that affects your family. I thought it was great. So thank you. Chris, I don't know how much of a say you've had in what is shared publicly, but thank you for, you know, I'm guessing allowing Amy to share this publicly on her platform, because I think that it really helps a lot of us feel connected and more understood, and it's also spreading awareness to help other people understand what autism actually looks like in the real world. So regardless of how you feel about Amy Schumer, I felt like this was a great opportunity to talk about the world of autism. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, please be kind. If you don't have anything kind to say, like, this is not an Amy Schumer roast, please don't fill the comments with hate or anything like that. Just keep scrolling and go do something better that upsets you less if you have like a thing with Amy. So it feels good to see representation in the media, and that's just what I wanted to hit on today, as well as offering a little bit of my perspective. If you're interested in connecting to other people like you, if you're on the autism spectrum or suspect that you're on the spectrum, somebody told me that they're calling this suspectrum, which I love. Feel free to check out my autistic community groups. We meet throughout the week online, virtually, and we connect and talk about different topics related to life on the spectrum. They're awesome. It's like my favorite part about life right now. I'm loving it. So you can check those out at momonthespectrum.life/coaching. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.